How you doing? It's been a while.
It has. It's been a few weeks.
Been up to much?
Yeah.
Have you had a lot on?
Yeah. been pretty busy, but like in reality, I saw you yesterday, so you're pretty up to date on my life.
Yeah. It was more about I was trying to like do a funny little segue into the topic of today. We got a lot on. But today we're going to be talking about burnout.
Yeah, burnout seems like an apt topic.
Crap. I hate this. Running is terrible. Everything is the worst. Oh my god. Oh my god.
So in terms of recognizing when I'm going to burn out, it's recognizing when I need to empty the jar a bit. When I realize that, like, right, okay, your stress bucket, that needs punctured a bit because it's overflowing. And that's what's causing burnout. So have a look and work out what can give temporarily to give you the space, rather than push and break down.
Yeah. Glad that you brought up the
I thought you might
the good old
I
jar
thought you might like the analogy.
Yes, obviously, you've brought it up. Like, obviously, I imagine you discovered it, or someone maybe told you about it.
I think the first version I heard of it was the stress bucket, like for it overflowing. That classic basic CBT skills with the jar, and it's the water's overflowing, and you've got to puncture it.
Yeah.
That was the first version of it that I heard, and then, sorry, I'm not gonna lie, my rings are stuck together in my hands. I kind of stuck, so I'm just gonna do that. Anyway, welcome to life. That was probably the first version of it that I heard. Then obviously there's the viral video that goes around quite regularly of the professor with the jar and all that. Yeah.
I think, funny enough, I first heard about it when Alistair Campbell. He was he's obviously big on talking about his mental health, and he said that he spent so much time and money on different doctors, psychiatrists, any kind of treatment out there. And then he said that his kind of aha moment was sitting in front of someone explaining the jar analogy to him. So he was like, I can understand that. That's really useful. But, essentially, it's so the analogy goes that if you imagine the jar is the kind of the space that you've got to kind of take on and deal with things. And obviously, the more you put in the jar, sort of the fuller it gets. And then obviously, every jar is a particular size, like a finite size, and it can't keep having things put in it, indefinitely. And it's when that starts to kind of overflow, like you say, or just get too kind of clogged or cramped up.
No room to breathe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's when you're going to burn out, when you're at that point.
Yeah.
And it's recognizing the warning signs that you're getting to that point.
Yeah.
That's the key to minimizing burnout. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because sometimes in life we just can't, different things take priority. You just can't take that even hour for yourself. Sometimes it's going to happen, but it's about minimizing how often it happens.
Yeah. It's the whole you're so emotionally or physically kind of put on for so long, and then at some point you just you get hit by the worst cold or flu you've ever had. I guess that's the same sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so, because I think I said this to you last week. I know I'm fighting a cold, and I've been fighting a cold for about 3 months.
Yeah.
But I haven't had an actual day off, where I've had nothing to think about, nothing to do for about that long.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact the minute I take a day for myself, I'm going to be fucking wiped, and it's going to knock us. But recognizing that, I have booked 4 days off. Because I know I'm going to wake up after day 1 and I'm going to be loaded with cold, 3 days to recover.
Yeah. It's quite worrying that our bodies have the ability to do that. Obviously keep going far beyond when they should have stopped.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, I think sometimes as well, you you don't realise how much you've taken on until it's too much.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Well, I mean, you mentioned warning signs, and so that might be kind of useful to talk about a little bit, because again, we experience these sorts of things very differently, and I imagine that warning signs would also be different for the two of us as well. And what are some of yours?
Biggest one's the lack of organisation.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit, I need to do this.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I need to do that. Oh fuck, I haven't booked that. Like that kind of like lack of being on top of things.
Yeah.
It's one of my biggest things in life is how fucking organised I am.
Mm-hmm.
And once I start to lose that organisation, I have to take a day to get reorganised. And if in that day I don't get fully reorganised, that's a warning sign for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I've been given 24 hours to get organised, I have a checklist of how I do that. Sort everything out, everything's sorted. If I'm not doing that with my time because I'm distracted or I'm doing something else or whatever, then I know I'm gonna burn out, because I had so much going on. I couldn't take that 24 hours I'd allocated to get organised, which I knew would fix the issue to begin with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess that would be quite a big sign. It's like you can't find the time to get organised, let alone time off.
Yeah. That's a big one. Well, I said to you a couple of weeks ago, right, from June, I'm not working a Tuesday. I am working, but I'm doing admin.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing all my stock checks, all invoicing, paperwork, all that shit that needs to be done to stop me from getting overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
Tuesdays, allocated day. I don't do appointments.
Yeah, see, for me, it's more like I have noticeable spikes in my anxiety when I'm leading up to it. It's like that negative inner voice of like pretty much everything I'm doing is wrong, and it just feels like everyone in my life has kind of got their faces pointed at me, like looking at me and saying like, when are you going to sort this and this out? And that's obviously like feelings of being overwhelmed, and that's a good warning sign for me. And it's like so the thing that it can be a very sort of sharp drop off, because again, burnout is the result of building of stress.
Yeah.
And like you say, it's really difficult to spot when it's going to happen before it's too late. So you kind of go from one day feeling like you've got everything to do, everyone's judging you, like the thought of taking even 5 minutes off is like ludicrous. And then all of a sudden, bam, it's like you can't do anything but take time off.
It's your burnt toast.
Yeah.
Burnt toast. Like that's what I always say. I'm approaching burnt toast. And it's because it's the stupid thing that sends us over the edge. It's not all the stressful shit. It's the fact that I can't find my pen.
Yeah.
Or the fact that there's no milk. Like, it's something stupid that just makes us go, and then I'm like, shit, that's my explosion point. And once I've exploded, that's burnout.
Yeah. Which, makes a lot of sense psychologically, because our brains are very good at like suppressing or temporarily hiding things that we really should be taking notice of.
Yeah.
But then it's a little things like losing your pen and stuff like that seems to be the issue.
How often have you seen me go, I can't find my vape? And I go from, where's my vape? To, please, could you help me find my vape? Because I'm about to explode in 10 seconds?
Yeah.
And it's not that I'm pissed off about the fact I can't find my vape. Sometimes it's the fact I'm pissed off about I can't find my vape. But it's because my brain goes, I need nicotine now or I'm going to blow.
Yeah.
And that's what causes the very sharp, could you please help me? Because I'm like, if I don't find this, I'm about to snap.
Yeah, and that's the worrying thing. It is. It's like a. I was going to use an analogy of like a whole like pressure thing. I don't know if that's even a word.
Do you mean like a compression tube where the bubbles over?
No, but that's pretty good. Let's go with that. No. But no, like not like again. So not only knowing like like it being very difficult to kind of spot before it's too late, and then not knowing kind of how it's actually going to come out can be a fun one as well.
I think recognizing it's a good start. Like if you actually look at it, like I mean, I feel like it's weird because we've both watched each other approach burnout and burnout over the last couple of months.
Yeah.
And I think the one big difference that I noticed between me and you is that your burnt toast causes a different reaction to what mine does. Mine's are very like outwardly expressive. Like I think it was when I couldn't get something to work on the laptop last week, and I literally leant back and pulled my hood over my face, and you come in and were like, "Are you all right?" And I was like, "No, I need to throw something. I'm gonna fucking lose my mind. I need to move because I'm fucking stressed."
Yeah.
Whereas you're more of a walk away. Like you'll go and take yourself off to be on your own. Whereas I'll kind of sit and bubble.
Yeah. I think like, withdrawal's a big thing for me. Like that's what burnout means to me. It's like withdrawing from everything, from people, from responsibilities, from like things I would normally enjoy.
That's probably like the biggest thing in differences. I noticed differences in how we'll recover as well. You very much just need a little bit of chill time.
Yeah.
And you'll be all right. I need everything to get sorted so that I can take my chill time to be all right.
Yeah.
I need to fix everything first, then I can chill, then I'll be all right.
That's interesting as well, because if we're talking about the differences with us, like in both those instances, so that takes some alone chill time for me. I've got to be careful that doesn't turn into a day, a weekend, like a week. And I suppose with you as well, it's like, you want to kind of get X, Y, and Z sorted before you can rest, but then how long is that going to take you?
I mean, we've discussed my 3-day rule before when it comes to, and I mean, I use it for depression, but it works for burnout too.
Yeah.
Because if you need to take a couple of days to just regroup, pull yourself together, 3 days is the perfect amount of time.
Yeah.
Because you can spend day 1 feeling sorry for yourself, day 2 chilling, day 3 starting to think about how to get everything done properly, and how to reset, and then you wake up day 4 and you start your reset.
I feel like the main difference with burnout and depression is that normally with burnout there's a very, I say simple, although in practice it's not this simple, but there's a solution to it. Like if you're overworked, rest. Like if you're under challenge, like find something that's going to challenge you. Like there's an easier way of dealing with it. Whereas depression, not so easy. Like the cause or the reason for it isn't quite as clear. Not to say though that, and this is something else to be aware of, is that long bouts of burnout can lead to depression.
Yeah.
Just because I think again, just because the symptoms are so similar, like withdrawal of energy, like lack of interest in things that you enjoy, negative inner voice.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, like after we won the Great North Run, nobody's going to bat an eye at the fact that you've took the next day off work.
Yeah.
Because your legs are going to be sore. You know that you're going to be exhausted. What's the difference between taking a day off work because you need to rest your legs and taking a day off because you need to rest your brain? It's an organ. It gets sick sometimes. You need to look after it. And I think that the way that we've got everything built in society, so many of us aren't willing to take a day off to nip burnout in the bud before it starts. Because we feel so guilty about phoning in sick that you end up in a position where now you don't need a day, now you need a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Well, that's a lot more detrimental to you on a mental health level, a financial level, and everything in between. But it's also more detrimental to the company you work for you to take 3 weeks off than it is for you to take a day off.
Yeah.
And that's why the logic will never make sense to me of why you're made to feel guilty for taking a day off once every 6 months for your mental health.
And this is where we get into the whole issue of like the fact that culturally, for British people, it is very difficult to, like you say, admit when they need a break, because we do value productivity and hard work very highly. That is normally the measure of somebody. And it's almost like it's something to congratulate, like someone who takes on so much, like the office worker that agrees to stay an extra hour behind to sort work out. It's like, good on him, like what a good sport, it's great for the company or whatever. And that's something that we just naturally value. And even like having that conversation, especially with an employer, but kind of with anyone, admitting that you're not capable of doing the things that you're currently trying to do.
Yeah,
really difficult for people to do that.
I always think that that's interesting because I always really do think that it all starts with your 100% attendance in primary school.
Yeah.
We all remember it, sitting in assembly and you get called up for 100% attendance and you get a little certificate. I never had one of those. Jesus Christ, I don't think I've ever attended a full term in my life.
It's true though, because I remember thinking that even like back then in school, like the 100% attendance award is a bit like saying, well done, you didn't get sick this year, or like, well done, you were sick but you still came in anyway.
I used to think that when I was younger. I mean, I didn't really think about it obviously as an impact on your mental health because, when you're like 6, that's really not what you're thinking.
Yeah.
But I do remember from a very young age thinking like, all right, great, they didn't have any problems with their teeth this year. Like, whereas at the time, like I think it was like year 3, I'd been out of school because I had to have work done in my teeth, so I'd had like 3 days off, which meant I didn't get the certificate.
Yeah.
And it was like kind of like these are better than you because they were here every day, and it's like it's instilling from such a young age that doesn't matter the circumstances, there's no excuses for why you should be off.
Yeah.
When actually there's a wide array of them. I mean, the dentist is a valid reason.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And the 100% attendance award never really goes away, does it?
No.
Like I've been in so many one-to-ones at work where it's like, like we really value the fact that you're never off, like, you don't call in and stuff. And I'm sitting there thinking, is that really something I should be proud of?
Yeah.
Like it didn't feel it back then and it certainly doesn't feel it now.
See, it's funny, isn't it? Because mine are always the, you know what it is? Like you're green all the way through. But we've got to give you you've got the big smiley faces the whole way through, but we've got to give you just the normal smiley face because you had 1 day off 4 months ago.
Yeah.
So then in my head I'm like, right, okay, so what's the limit before I come out of that face? Because if you're gonna fucking penalise me for having 1 day, then I'm taking the 2 that I actually required.
Yeah.
Because I came back a day early because I felt so fucking guilty. And I knew how much work there was to do, and I wasn't 100%. So now actually I'm iller for longer because I didn't come back at 100%. When you'd have been just as pissed had I taken the extra day and come back at 100% as you are for me taking the day. So
yeah. This is it. Like, as much as this is a video about people who might experience burnout, it's also like to make people aware of like people around you, especially like in an employment perspective. If you get pissed off that somebody takes a day off for their mental health, okay, it might be quite inconvenient for you that day, but if you don't allow that, then before you know it, you'll have a week where that person's not there. And same for if you were, the employer as well. Like it's not going to serve you to kind of praise people coming in when they don't feel like coming in, because it's going to cause more problems down the line.
I think that's a big thing that, like, I've seen both of us do it, where trying to get ready for work because we're like, no, gotta go in, like, just gotta just put my adult trousers on and go in. And it's took for something to be like, it's like the moment just before you leave the house where you go, and your brain, your head goes, you've already been off 1 day, you're going to go in and you're going to come home halfway through the day because you couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
Right, so you were off yesterday, so that's instance number 1. You go in today and then come home, that's instance number 2. That completely changes the dynamic of how work react to it, because at the end of the day, we've all got procedure to follow. It doesn't, sometimes doesn't fucking matter. If you've had a stomach bug 2 months earlier, right, well, now you're on 3 instances of absence, and now you're in a recorded meeting about your absence level. And if you have 1 more day off within the next rolling 12 months, which again does not make sense to me, but okay, like within the next rolling 12 months, then you'll be pulled in for a disciplinary for being ill 4 times in 12 months.
Yeah.
What? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't realise that, like, all those bugs and viruses, COVID. I didn't realise that I could just politely tell it, like, hey, can you wait another couple of months, please, till that absence drops off? Like, I did not know that was how that worked.
Yeah.
Like, fucking.
Yeah.
Come on.
I don't understand that.
Sorry, I went on a little bit of a rant about the way that absences work in a workplace there.
So relevant. But even that, like you saying that, like, I think a lot of people still have this mindset of if you're off one day, like they think it looks better on you if you go in and have to go home again, because it's like, again, it's showing that you tried, you put that effort in, even though you weren't feeling right. And like that's impractical from a employment perspective anyway, and I don't think employees particularly appreciate that actually.
Yeah.
And also, it's what the hell are you doing? Like, you'd rather like do more damage to yourself by fighting your way into work and then being there for a bit and then going home when you already knew at the start of the day you were going to go home.
Yeah.
Just why kind of take that?
Funny that, because as you were saying that, it made me think of when I was younger and I used to say, Mum, I don't feel well. And she'd be like, oh, well, if you're that ill, they'll send you home.
Yeah.
And then she'd be like, it would be like 9:10, and they'd be on the phone to her, being like, you need to come get her. And she'd be like, give her a paracetamol, she's fine. She's putting it on. And I mean, credit where credit's due, a solid 60% of the time I was putting it on. But like, it just shows from a young age. Like, and I mean, don't get me wrong, that was partially because she had to go to work. Like, fucking, like, come on, I haven't got. Okay, you feel sick, darling. You haven't been sick. They're two completely different things. Get into school, you'll be all right by 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I mean, to be fair, she is definitely where my whole get up and try came from, because yourself. There's sometimes you wake up and you feel like shit. But you get up and you get moving, you feel better.
Oh, yeah,
and that's like both physically and mentally. Like sometimes I wake up with a cold and I feel like crap, but within an hour I'm all right.
Yeah, yeah.
Same, mentally wake up and think I can't fucking do this, but by the time you've had a shower and you've dried your hair, like, okay, I'm fine now.
Yeah, I think it's having that sense of ownership and freedom back, isn't it? It's like, it's normally when you're like so reluctant to like get up and go, it's because you feel like you just got no control over things. There's too much going on, and if you even like taking that conscious effort to say, actually, I'm going to have the morning off, it might work. It might help you like have a more productive afternoon because you've chosen to kind of take that time for yourself. Yeah. Whereas if you're doing it because mum or your boss is telling you that that's what you should do, then it's not going to be as effective.
I always think that the big one that helped me when I was trying to like. Basically, it was learning skills around the whole I need to be perfect all the time thing. And with that came burnout. Yeah. And I remember it was my weekly diary, my weekly planner, and Laura said to me, print a big A3 one-off with just Monday through Sunday, break the times however you want. Now, don't write on that in pen. Write everything on sticky notes because they're movable.
Yeah.
Now there's no guilt attached to it. Because it's not, fuck, I'm behind schedule, I should have done that. It's now on the next day. And obviously, be accountable with it. Like, you can't, just move certain things you can't move.
Yeah.
But, if it's Friday night at 7 o'clock and I'm absolutely exhausted after the week, is it really going to matter if I do the dishes in the morning? No. So then why am I making myself feel guilty about it? Because the next morning I'm going to get up and think, I shouldn't have done them last night and feel guilty or move me thing. Like that worked for me personally.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, in terms of like what you do, if you're burning out, is really look at what relaxes you, I would say, because it's not just about the stress, like losing the stress. I mean, you can make the job bigger. Like, if you relax and you chill yourself out and do what you know is going to make you, in a way, kind of disconnect from everything and just allow you some breathing room, all of a sudden you can deal with that again. You can deal with life again.
Yeah. Because if you actually really think about it, like someone who claims that they don't have enough time to relax is one of the most ludicrous and self-contradictory things you can say. Because like, how the hell are you going to continue doing the things that you're doing that stop you from relaxing without relaxing? So,
That'll give you a brain aneurysm right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
I think the point I wanted to kind of like end with for me was, and this will be like a feature of many different episodes that we do, but like the whole internal locus of evaluation thing, like make sure you're doing the things for you, not for other people.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's like within reason, obviously, depending on kind of where you are in life. But if you're meeting other people's expectations and putting in that much effort to do it for someone else, that's not sustainable. That's not going to last. Whereas if you can do it from an inner place of this is what you want to do and this is what motivates you, that shit will last a hell of a lot longer.
Yeah.
And don't listen to the outside voices of like, oh, what a great sport for staying a bit longer. I was really appreciated. You know, we're not going to pay you any extra, but you know, really appreciate it. You wanted a team. We're part of a family. Like, don't listen to that stuff.
Run away from anywhere that says we're a family here. That would be my experience.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I think that, and from me, it would be do something for yourself every day, even if it's something small. Like, you know, when you see all the time people who've got kids who like they'll take a chocolate bar and they go and hide in the bathroom and eat a twirl or something because they've got two kids who they know when they see they're going to want the twirl.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's something as silly as that, just do something for you every day because it'll help you breathe. Yeah. Even if you just get in 2 minutes of breathe, it'll help you get through your time off, because we all know we love good time off. So.
Absolutely. And in our like long tradition of like committing each other to things at the end of the recording, because it's obviously out there. You know, obviously we've got the blog. I'm sure there'll be some Burnout related posts coming up soon.
Oh, really? You mean the things that I've already written and are already scheduled?
Exactly.
I'm on it. Told you. We took what, 4 weeks off? It was to get shit sorted. There's been some changes. Like, you know, fingers crossed we're fine. We're good. We're organised. We know what we're doing. Life's good.
Yeah. So yeah, good stuff.
So you tried to commit me to something I'd already sorted.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
If you enjoyed this episode of Manic Minds, please do consider subscribing to the blog and YouTube channel. Oh, it's not going in.
And of course, don't be a dick.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah, don't be a dick.